Here we go. The story of Roblox's original top obvious Kaan.
Victory was a few jumps away.
Let's start.
Victory was a few jumps away. He was about to make obbying history.
Is that
But
math
wait,
factor?
How do we even manage this? Well, to find out, we have to go back through time and see how one player went from an obby enthusiast to a legend in Roblox obbies as a whole.
That's me, chat.
This is the story of Kaan2005, the original top obbyist.
I need a Bundan video essay where they say that and this exact song is there with this drop. That's my goal. This is the story of the world's greatest clip farmer. Yeah, let's see. Chapter 1, Rise of Kaan.
This is Flood Escape 2, an extremely popular obbying game that involves pressing buttons and completing obstacles in a specified amount of time to outrun the threat of a flood. The year is 2018, and at the time, thousands of players joined every day to enjoy the game. But not everyone wanted to play easier maps and slowly progress.
Okay.
Some wanted a challenge, and one of those people was a kid named Kaan2005. The hardest non-community map at the time, Dark Side Facility, was a prime target for anyone wanting a challenge, including Kaan. But he didn't just beat it once. He completed the map 8 times back to back, and then uploaded it to his small channel.
You know what's interesting? Side note, I feel like Flood Escape 2 would have been, like, I'm surprised it fell off. Was it just too hard? Like, why did Ito take over as the main obby game?
As of today, this really wouldn't be too impressive, but at the time, this was a respectable achievement. For Kaan though, this was just the start, and he wanted more. He wanted something that would truly test
Ito
his
Mogs.
skills. For Kaan, this would be Flood Escape 2's community maps. Unlike the main game, these maps could be as unfair and difficult as the creator liked, but it didn't scare him. Insane after insane, he beat the hardest maps available one by one. To find something that would truly challenge him, he needed to go beyond Flood Escape. This is when he uploaded a video with the title Roblox Hell Obby Training Speedrun.
Okay.
This wasn't a Flood Escape obby, but instead something called a tiered obby. If you didn't know already, tiered obbies are a form of obbies that are categorized by difficulty with tiers, typically 1 to 25. For some perspective, Tier 1 would just be walking to the end of an obby, and Tier 25 would be an obby that is physically impossible for any human to beat. The tiered obby he did in the video was Tier 3, which was around the difficulty of beating the Tower of Hell. This wasn't really that difficult of a tiered obby, even for 2018, but it's still important as the first appearance of them on his channel. After that, he continued playing Flood Escape 2, but instead of beating easier Insanes, he beat maps that were so-called Extreme Insanes. Extreme Insanes were basically the equivalent to crazy maps today, so a difficulty above Insane. With him quickly beating every Extreme Insane he tried, his skill continued to slowly rise, until he completed something truly impressive for 2018.
Here's my question. Could Kaan2005 beat TOBT? I don't think he could. If we actually look at the data and break down what it takes to defeat TOBT, I don't think he could.
This was his completion of the Tower of True Skill. In the obbying game, Eternal Towers of Hell, beating the entire tower is the baseline of Remorseless.
Here we go.
And at the time, it was a top tower. This completion will begin Kaan's reputation as one of the best. And in people's eyes, he started to be viewed as someone with a lot of potential.
See, I've also done TOTS.
Still though, this wasn't enough for him. Instead of beating Remorseless, he wanted to beat something that was viewed as nearly impossible, an Insane Tower. This was an entire difficulty above Tower of True Skill, so it was least more difficult. He started with getting to Remorseless in Tower Difficulty Chart Classic and Insane Tower in under 2 minutes, which he himself viewed as an unbeatable speedrun. Even with that progress, Tower of Difficulty Chart wouldn't be his first Insane. No, it would be something much harder. This was the Tower of Confusion.
Pi Jupiter loves his disses, bro.
Sitting at the upper end of Insane. On January 31st of 2019, Kaan beat it, and ended up jumping almost 2 difficulties in just over a month. Aside from tiered obbies, this was the hardest thing beaten at the time, meaning that he was one of the few on the entire platform with that skill. But he didn't just want to be another professional. He wanted to stand out. And because of his history with Flood Escape 2, he had the perfect idea.
So he locked in on Ito,
World record speedruns. If Kaan could secure some world records on famous towers, he could gain even more notoriety in the obbying community. So that's what he did. Firstly, he got a world record of 10 seconds on Not Even a Tower, a secret and way smaller version of a normal tower that was very popular to speedrun. This would give him a lot of respect.
Ooh, dude, I want to do some of those, bro. That looks awesome. I think I'm built for something like that, like the short, explosive. Like I could do that easy. Like it wouldn't even be hard. What was his best time?
But this wasn't
10 seconds.
Yet. He then got a world record of 4 minutes and 36 seconds on Tower of Hell in Ito.
Yeah, but did you beat it in 9 hours and then get an Easter egg, Kaan?
Which was crazy for 2019. Just before that world record speedrun, he also beat the only other insane in the game, the Tower of Difficulty chart. Now with these completions...
No, he did not! What do you mean he beat it?
In the game, the Tower of...
Bro, use vertical movement! What are you talking about? I have a theory, chat, that this is all fake news.
Chart. Now with these completions, there really wasn't much left. Except there was. But for him to complete this, it would be an uphill battle. This would be the Tower of Inception.
Okay, here we go.
Instead of just insane difficulty, this was 2 whole difficulties above, meaning that it sat at the terrifying difficulty, just 1 away from the seemingly impossible difficulty of catastrophic.
Okay, lock in, chat. Here we go.
With this unbreakable barrier, Kaan continued to defy the odds, and he completed it just over a month after his last insane completion.
Damn, dude.
With how fast his skill grew,
that's kind of crazy.
He continued to be one of the best players, and began to cement himself in obbying history. The thing was, though, his Tower of Inception completion wasn't as difficult as it seemed. He used a multitude of skips, and he escaped from multiple death pits that should have ended his run. Much later on, though, he would redeem himself by beating the tower legit. But after this, he moved away from Ito and turned to tiered obbies, the same ones that he did long ago. His first popular completion was the Room of Terrifying, and as you could probably guess, it's around the Terrifying difficulty, and it would be one of his hardest completions to date. The thing was, though, the grind only lasted 30 minutes for him. Because of this, he started to be viewed as not just one of the best, but the best player in obbying history. To continue his reputation, he did something that was viewed as nearly impossible by the community. This was the Tower of Glory. If Kaan beat it, this would be miles harder than anything Kaan did before. Remember how Tier 3 was around the Tower of Hell difficulty? Well, this was Tier 16, or on the higher end of the catastrophic difficulty. For 2019, it was absolutely insane. But Kaan still somehow did it, and this completion would be his most famous yet, with the video getting tens of thousands of views over time.
Do you know what's crazy, chat? Like, I know some of you are young. Why does Bundon have parasocial beef with Kaan2005? I don't. All I want to say is that, how old's Geometry Dash, chat? When did GD come out? I actually think obbying, even though it's old, actual proper obbying is actually fairly young, bro. I think people don't realize, like I played League of Legends in 2009. Proper obbying is very young, chat.
Good he was, Kaan uploaded another video of him beating the Tower of Glory 3 times in a row, and then another one of him doing it without shift lock. At the time, Kaan was in a whole nother league of obbying. Only a few could even seem to get close to him. Right after these ludicrous achievements, he beat the Stone Facility, another catastrophic tower. He continued engraving his name into obbying history, and soon, it would permanently be there.
Okay, so what's next down the story of Kaan? His prime. Chat, does that mean, so Kaan beat TOTS, then entered his prime after. Am I only entering my prime?
On April 4th, 2020,
he's there again.
Kaan2005 uploads a video of his world record speedrun on Tower of True Skill.
Okay.
This one had just amassed a couple thousand views though. No, this video would get almost 250,000 views in its lifetime, with famous obbying creators like MathFactor360 and Squid Magic commenting on it. This was also around the time where the trend of people dressing up like Kaan in obby games began. For a time, almost any Ito server you joined would at least have one player with his iconic avatar, and you can even spot some people wearing his famous avatar today. After his TOTS world record, he beat his second tier 16, Pillars, and continued his popular series of speedrunning world records with Daydream Valley, one of if not the most popular.
So what happened to this guy?
Time,
did bro retire?
In just over 28 seconds, and getting another world record. He uploaded his completion to his channel, and just like the Tower of True Skill video, it ballooned in popularity and got over 100,000 views on YouTube. He wasn't just completing obbies though, he was also creating them. A great example of this is his famous video on Stairway to Heaven, a tier 18, where the hardest possible tiers humans are believed to be able to do, even today.
Whoa.
Of course, Kaan's video wasn't a completion of it, as the obby was still believed to be impossible back then. But instead of completion of the obby with checkpoints, this wasn't the notable part though. Instead, it was because this video was on such a famous tiered obby, and Kaan had made it himself. So yes, the top 1 obby was made partly by and made famous by Kaan himself. At this point, it was just another achievement to add onto the list, but the list definitely didn't end here. Kaan will beat more tiered obbies to boost his skill further, and
I really hope he just disappears and never returns. I hope he doesn't die. Please don't die, actually. But I hope he just like goes, I'm done, I'm gonna get a job.
At one point, even got a 50-second time on Tower of Glory, which was a world record.
Don't spoil,
but
chat.
On July 10th of 2020, something very special happened.
I'm not looking.
What happened on that day would be one of the most well-known achievements in Ito ever. As mentioned before, catastrophics have been beaten by him before, like Tower of Glory and the Stone Facility. But this one was special for being the first ever catastrophic in Ito. It seems that we are now coming back to the start of the video.
Okay. Is this Pi Jupiter playing or Kaan? Because Pi's a scammer, dude. Nah, this is the official. I can see Jato in the comments.
Because of how monumental it was, his completion video garnered almost 200,000 views and allowed his legacy to be remembered longer than ever before. In other words, Kaan truly became a legend. He then had some smaller completions with tiered obbies, most notably his completion of the Tower of Glory, which is 10 Tower of Glories stacked on top of each other without checkpoints, which makes an actual 10-floor tower.
Bro, obby history is so crazy to me, man. It's so wild. I can't even believe, I can't believe how deep this goes, bro. I actually can't believe how deep obbying goes.
His next video after that, though, would turn out to be his most popular. Surprisingly, it isn't even that hard of a completion. It's just a completion of a difficulty chart obby. The reason why it got so many views is likely because of how popular difficulty chart obbies were back then.
PS3
but it still got him known by the people outside the tight-knit professional obbying community. After completing that difficulty chart obby, he got a 15-second improvement on his previous Tower of True Skill world record, with a new time of 3 minutes and 19 seconds.
Is TOTS the like most commonly speed ran tower? And then TOH? Are they the two main ones that people speed run? That's cool.
And got another record-breaking speedrun on an insane tower called Tower of Thinning Layers. Finally, he completed Shinku no Naraku, a very popular mid-high tier 16 obby to bring his skill closer to the limits.
A what?
Remember Stairway to Heaven? Well, he did...
A Shinding Rogu? Sounds like a pasta, bro. What's he saying? What's that called?
Something very impressive on it after his Shinku completion.
A Shinku no Naraku.
Segment of Stairway to Heaven that contained about a third of the obby. Because of how famous he was back then, the place he started the segment from became a landmark in the obby known as the Kaan start position. Even today, the turn from 2020 is still used to show how far someone has made it in the obby. But after that, and a completion of another tier 15, things seemed to actually slow down for Kaan.
He fell off. Happened? Did he fall off? What happened? What did happen? What happened to Kaan2005? Why is he not around? Why is he not fighting Skitsuna?
4 months after his last video, Kaan2005 would upload a completion of Moonlit Cosmos, but the thing that stood out about it was the description. It read, "I quit obbies. But I came back for a day about a month ago to play this random obby, and I ended up beating it even though I failed the
got employed
a ton of times. Expect more uploads.
Oh!
Kaan had unexpectedly taken a short hiatus from obbying, but it seemed like he was coming back. He went back to his roots of posting his completions of tiered obbies, and like usual, they were getting a lot of views. Everything seemed like it was going
He's a moneymaker!
Kaan was back. That was the case actually, until he vanished. After another multiple month-long hiatus, he uploaded a video in December of 2021, titled with 8 H's. Like before, the description gave some insight of what he was doing, with the most eye-catching part stating, "Time for deep woken."
No! He lost him, dude. Like, do you know, honestly, I was hoping he was getting a job. I wanted to see this line to be like, he got an undergraduate degree or something, bro. But he just went to the most one unemployed to the next most unemployed.
Really started to get into different games other than just
no, Kaan, what
he didn't upload it again until August of 2022, with a last jump fail on a tier 17, or a horrific obby called Elegance.
Okay.
Obviously, this didn't help motivate him with obbies, and he began to develop a bad finger lock while grinding it. But he still would upload again in October of the same year, this time with the completion of a tier 15.
He's back, he's back,
Maybe
he's back.
Kaan would just upload more scarcely now, but he would still be here, right? Unfortunately, Kaan uploaded one final video of a completion of Tower of Cataclysmic Layers in December of 2022, and then just like before, he disappeared. It's been about 2.5 years since that video was uploaded, and there hasn't been any sign of him coming back to obbies ever again. People were wondering though, why would he suddenly quit when he was getting tens of thousands of views every video?
Bro went to college.
It comes down to a simple thing, a loss of interest. Over time, Kaan moved—
Okay, I don't know what I expected Pi Jupiter to say, but I thought bro was gonna, like, the way he did some research and he figured it out. Bro just said, oh yeah, he just got bored. Boom. Pi, what is that line?
on the different
That was his big mic drop moment.
games, such as Deep Woken, like mentioned
He
before,
got bored.
and more notably Rogue Lineage. This is a roguelike combat game centered around the idea of a permanent death to your current character instead of respawns,
Flamingo?
having to pass down traits from that deceased character to your hair after death. He actually got better at this game than he was with obbies.
What?
But this wasn't the only thing that made him go away from professional
What do you mean?
hobbying. While he was grinding Elegance, Kaan started to develop a bad case of finger lock like mentioned before, which meant unless he went through the struggle of trying to get rid of it, he wouldn't be able to do any complex jumps without his fingers freezing up. These two things combined left Kaan with a simple decision: to move on. And even though it seems as if Kaan's reign as the top obbyist is over, he still did a lot in that time. Kaan paved the way for future hobbyists, inspired others to become—
That's me! This is me! There's me!
one, and has most likely introduced thousands to the community. So even if he is gone, Kaan2005 will always remain a legend in the hobbying community, and even after many years have passed, I believe that he'll never be forgotten. I hope you enjoyed his story as much as I did, and until next time, goodbye.
What did we learn, chat? If we use the understanding of a hero's journey, the hero started, we return back to the same place, he walks away, but a new hero was born.